Hey, so today's video is on how to survive your first year of uni or college, as I've just finished mine last year and I thought I could share some tips and tricks on how to make things a little easier, how to kind of get better grades, make it go smoothly. The first thing which I find is really important is stay on top of your weekly tasks. At least at my university, Deakin, a lot of the classes, they give weekly tasks on what you need to do. A lot of mine do. And it's really good to stay on top of them and keep up to date. So what I do is on my computer, I make a list of dot points for what I need to do each week. And actually I do them for each subject. I put like the ones for this week on first, then second, third, but I do them for each subject and I just tick off things after I do them. So I might be doing the reading, watching the lecture, going to the seminar, or watching the seminar if I didn't go to the seminar. So it's just an easy way to make sure you know everything you need to do so you can stay on top of things. It's really helpful. But yeah, if your class doesn't have like weekly objectives, then it can make it a little difficult, but definitely try each week to go to lectures and seminars. If you don't go to them, to watch them online. And if there's reading, try and do that each week, because once you get behind, it can be really hard to catch up and really painful. Like, it's okay to be a week or maybe two behind, but you don't want to be behind in all your classes, or then it just gets really stressful. So yeah, definitely try making a list of things you need to do and tick them off once you do them, so you know exactly what you have to do for each of your units. And yeah, definitely just stay on top each week of what you need to do. Next is when you go to your classes, well, for me it's seminars. So when you kind of hanging out with people in like a classroom setting, talk to people. Talk to the people around you. If you have questions about the assignments and things, talk to them. If you just chat to them, don't just isolate yourself and sit there quietly. It's really good to talk to people, ask questions to your tutors and lecturers and stuff. Just make sure you're involved and you're not just sitting there not like really doing anything, because then you're not really going to get the best out of it. It's best to ask questions, answer questions, talk to your fellow peers and students. It makes things a lot better and more enjoyable, because then you'll actually look forward to going to. Something I find really helpful for uni and also in high school is to understand the marking system. It's really, really important to try and know this. Depends on the uni you're at, but if you're at one like mine, a lot of the time they mark on rubrics, and they usually will show you the rubric and it'll be like high distinction in the first one, distinction, credit. So it makes it a lot easier to tell what you need to do for each one, and you see how many marks each thing's worth. It's a little hard to sometimes understand the difference between like excellent presentation and good presentation of something, but it does make it helpful to tell how many marks things are and what you should be focusing on most. So it really helps to be able to tell that kind of stuff, and also make sure you keep track of word counts, because it sucks to be well under them and it sucks to be well over them, because I'm the kind of person that always goes way over word limits and I don't know how to cut my stuff down. It's just a bit of a disaster, and half the time with my assignment it's me just cutting out things that didn't need to be there, even though I feel like each word is very important. So make sure you keep on top of how the marking's done, because the marking is where you get your marks. There's no point doing things you're not getting marked for. So just stick to what you need to do. It makes it a lot better and easier if you know what you have to do exactly. For me, I write down for an assignment, I'll write headings for each thing I need to do, and it makes it so much easier. You just write in the words that need to go there, or like the questions or something. It makes it really helpful. And also, if you know word limits, put those down on it, because word limits are important. Something that I myself find really helpful is handwriting notes, and that's actually been proven to be a more efficient way to memorize the stuff you need to know, and it's best if you can write it in your own words. And so to handwrite them, it's a lot more helpful for your memory than to type it or to copy and paste the information. So if you're reading a textbook, keep your notebook open and be writing notes for each part. A lot of the time with classes that involve readings, they'll tell you what kind of stuff you need to know. For pretty much all my psychology classes, they've told me what you need to know from each chapter, and it makes it so much easier. So you know, oh, this stuff isn't really important. I don't need to write down all this useless kind of information. And so yeah, it's good to use headings. I always use the ones that were in the textbook, just to make it a bit clearer for myself, and do it in dot points. I use multiple colored pens to kind of separate which points need to be in what sections, and just try and make it kind of neat. But you don't have to handwrite it. I just know that it makes it a lot better for your memory to be able to handwrite something and look back at them from my experience and also from, studies and stuff. Because that's one of the kind of things you learn in psychology is how to study. That's like pretty much what my unit is on right now, is about memory and stuff. So yeah, and try and reword things if you can. Like, don't just copy the exact sentences. And also, it's really good to write definitions down. I always do them in a way that I know it's a definition that I'm doing, like you'll underline it or something. It makes it a lot easier to find later on. And when you're looking through your notes later, you can see. Also, when it comes to the exam time, I will look over at all the stuff that I needed to read for the textbook and all the things I need to know, and I write it down and I tick off each thing once I know that I know the thing, and I go through my notebook and I see what I don't know very well, and I read over it. If I don't know it very well from my notes still, then I'll open the textbook, maybe look at an old lecture recording. An important thing to do is to take breaks. Sometimes you can get kind of overwhelmed with just doing heaps of uni things and lots of work, and then you don't really have time. I always make sure that I have enjoyable things to do within my day and my week so that my life isn't taken over by university, because that can be really stressful when all you do is you focusing on your study. You have to make sure you have time for other things. Like when I was living at home, go out and spend the night with my boyfriend at least 3 times a week. So that's just time I'm not doing homework and enjoying myself. And along with that comes creating a study schedule. And so what I would do is maybe I'd write down kind of when it gets to times when I'm a bit behind, I'll write down the things I need to do. I'll put them in like charts and I'll just cross off each time I've done the thing I need to do, and I put them in like order of importance. I know it sounds like really anal to do it all, but it makes it really, really helpful. It's just like small things like organizing things like that. It makes it so much more helpful and to know what you need to do, even if it doesn't sound like something you want to do. Like I used to not want to do that kind of stuff. I used to have no idea how to study or anything like that. I would just, I'd read over the textbook just like the night before an exam or something, and I'd be like, good enough study, but now I kind of know better ways to do things and to make sure you know how to do the things throughout your semester. If you have questions, definitely ask your tutors and your lecturers. For Deakin, we have discussion boards for each of our units, so you can ask questions in there. You can contact all the people in charge. If you need it, ask for an extension. That makes things a lot more helpful. And if you're taking on too many classes, it's okay to drop one. So do it before the census date though, so you don't have to pay for the class. Like you can do it for a few weeks or something. But if it's too much work, drop it. It's okay. It's better to get good grades and take a little longer to do your degree than it is to get poor grades and not. Well, it depends on the kind of degree you're doing. For mine, for psychology, you need to like get good grades, or then it's kind of pointless. It's hard to get into what you need to do in psychology if you don't get good grades. So you want to make sure that you take your time, you put in enough effort in each of your classes, your assignments, your work. Definitely just try and understand the content though. Don't just know the content, like understand it and put it in ways that you can understand and get examples. Like what I always do, which I think kind of annoys people, but I constantly, like when I read something interesting in my textbook, I just tell people like facts about like this study or something, like how weird is this that people did this and that, like because I really enjoy what I'm doing, so it makes it better for me to enjoy what I'm doing and to be able to tell people about it. When it comes to choosing electives, choose things that you will enjoy. Like if it's just an elective, that doesn't really mean much if you're not like doing it to try and help you get better at something in particular. Choose something you enjoy. You may as well. That's what I think. So you don't want to choose electives that are just like going to be harder than your regular classes, because you might need to get good grades on your regular ones, but it might not really matter with the elective. Something I've found to be good is during my 3rd trimester, usually there's like a break, like a months of break kind of thing. And I've decided I'd do 1 unit during that time because I don't really want to get out of the study routine, even though I kind of am. Since I'm only doing 1, I only really do stuff once a week instead of like every day. But it's really good so you can remember how you go about studying and doing things. And it makes it better for your next trimester because you'll have 1 less class, or whenever you've taken this class from. And so my next trimester is going to be pretty chill. Like I only have 3 units and 2 of them don't even have like lectures and classes and stuff. So that's going to be really good for me. I'm going to enjoy that. Also, make sure you pay attention to when things are due, like assignments, because I've had ones that have just snuck up on me. Like they may not mention it in lectures or seminars. They might just not bring up the fact that you have this assignment. And that happened to me last trimester with one of my classes. It was like a 2,000 word assignment or something. And I didn't realize it existed until the week before it at all. Like I hadn't done anything and I wasn't sure how to do it. I started writing it and I wrote it wrong because there were 6 topics topics and I thought we're meant to talk about each of them in a little paragraph, but we're meant to choose one. So I like wasted half the week writing the incorrect assignment. So yeah, make sure you maybe I had a wall planner, a calendar, because that just came with stuff from uni, and I just put down when assignments are due, and I try and look at it and know when things are due so things don't just creep up on me, because it's good to start your assignments early and get them done early rather than handing them in late or something. I always try and get things done like a few days before the deadline. So what I want you to kind of try and take away from this to help you with uni is to try and keep on top of your weekly tasks you need to do and your assignments, get involved, understand how things are marked, and also of course make sure to take breaks, because you do not want to be someone that only is caring about your studies and things. You really need to take breaks. It's really important to get out there and have a social life. Social health is like really important, so make sure you still catch up with friends and things, or just do anything, just do something out there. It will really help you with your mental health throughout the year so you don't become so stressed. That's all for now. Hopefully you've learned at least one thing from this that can help you with uni, and yeah, if you have any questions or want a similar video, comment down below, give me a cheeky sub and a like and all that kind of stuff that people always say at the end of their videos. Okay, bye.